For many people in the 1920s to 1940s, this definition was a reality, a fear that was put in place through the dozens of brutal murders taking place, hiding under the identity of justice. At the time, lynchings were seen as a brutal form of quote-unquote justice that mostly consisted of hanging an individual for a crime they allegedly committed, with or without a legal trial. These lynchings often targeted people of color, and as they became more widespread, potential danger waited to greet people of color at every corner. The brutality of the lynchings from 1920 to 1940 sparked an English teacher, Abel Meeropol, and a singer, Billie Holiday, to write and perform Strange Fruit, the song that opened the eyes of many unknowing Americans then and now to the inhumane practices still being enacted. On the night of August 6, 1930, Thomas Shipp, Abram Smith, and James Cameron were charged with the murder of Claude Detier, a white factory worker, and the rape of Mary Ball in Marion, Indiana. The white community in the area was furious. The three men didn't get a full night in jail. A mob broke through the police protection with sledgehammers and crowbars and was able to pull Shipp and Smith out of prison, intent on serving what they thought was justice. But Cameron was luckily able to escape and was taken back to the jail. Both boys, in the hands of the angry mob, were beaten, and then Shipp was hanged from the jailhouse window. Smith tried to break free from the noose as he was hauled up, but the mob then brought him down and broke his arms to prevent another attempted escape. On top of that, the mob brought Smith to the courthouse square, where he was then stabbed and hanged from a tree. Smith ultimately died from the brutal beating before his body was even hanged. After hanging Smith's corpse, the mob dragged Thomas's dead body from the prison to the courthouse to hang it alongside Shipp's. The deaths of Shipp and Smith may have simply gone down as another tragedy in American history, if not for a photograph by Lawrence Beitler.
His photo was published in newspapers and magazines and caught many people's attention, especially the eyes of Abel Meeropol. Meeropol was many things. He was a high school English teacher in New York, an activist, and a poet. He spoke up about issues such as racism through his poetry, and in the 1930s, a new poem was born as a result of Thomas Shipp and Abraham Smith's lynchings. The sight was so raw and disturbing that Meeropol stated it haunted him for days. To express these feelings, he originally wrote Bitter Fruit, an obvious commentary on the brutality and unfairness of lynchings in America at the time. Meeropol's poem was published under the pseudonym of Lewis Allen and was posted in a teachers' union publication. However, Meeropol had bigger goals. He decided to transform his poetry into a song, setting the words to music and playing it until he found someone who would perform it. A New York club owner by the name of Barney Josephson found that person for him, Billie Holiday. At the time, Billie Holiday was 23 years old, but she was by no means new to performance. She grew up in Baltimore, spending most of her teenage years singing jazz records, and then moved to New York, where she would have her first breakthrough in 1933. She had her first hit song, Riffin' the Scotch, and she would headline in clubs and establishments, making a name for herself, long before Strange Fruit became a powerful part of her legacy. She was approached with the song when Meeropol had shown us to Josephson, the owner of the club Cafe Society, where she frequently headlined at. According to her, the lyrics hit her hard. Even on the first read, she said, "The song seemed to spell out all the things that had killed pop," meaning that Holiday felt that the racism, hate, and lack of humanity mentioned in the song was what killed her father. Regardless, Holiday was hesitant to perform it, as she was worried about the potential backlash and the political nature of the song. She understood the power and felt it necessary to bring attention on the ongoing horrors of the lynchings in the South. Holiday and her songwriters worked it into something she could perform without losing the impact and intentional discomfort that the song provoked from an audience, and that's when Strange Fruit was born. As Holiday nervously stepped onto stage and performed Strange Fruit for the first time, She feared performing the song was a mistake due to how far it diverged from her typical music.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
Upon finishing the song for the first time, the audience stood stunned and left in uncomfortable silence. There wasn't a single applause until one person began to clap nervously, and more followed, breaking the tension. The atmosphere was so powerful and intense that it left the audience feeling half strangled. As the song became a more regular feature of holidays, she witnessed reactions ranging from people in tears walking out to racist hecklers.
Although lynchings are not as common nowadays as they were in the past, Strange Fruit still continues to be relevant today as a message against brutality towards marginalized peoples. Following George Floyd's murder in 2020, Michael Maripol, Abel Maripol's son, called back to the song and its relevance in the modern day. Instead of lynching by mobs, we have lynching by police.
If a person of color steps out of line, he or she just might get killed.
Police officers who murder people of color could win acquittal with 5 magic words. I feared for my life. Juries must stop immediately crediting the 5 magic words, I feared for my life, and begin convicting police officers of murder. Maybe then, Strange Fruit can be sung and listened to as a relic of a barbaric past, rather than a reminder
of how dangerous it still is to be black in America.
We live in a time where government violence continues to become more and more common.
Kicked me, they punched me, they stepped on me like I couldn't breathe or anything. They had me in the horse shavings, and there was 5 of them on top of me.
Strange Fruit teaches us that we must speak out against the systemic racism that allows this to happen. Its legacy is felt in modern songs made out of a similar need to speak out. Songs like Sound of the Police by KRS-One, Fight the Power by Public Enemy, This Is America by Childish Gambino, and All Right by Kendrick Lamar. Hayley Williams, lead singer of the band Paramore, even references Strange Fruit in her song True Believer, singing, "The South will not rise again till it's paid for every sin. Strange fruit, hard bargain, till the roots, Southern Gotham." Injustice thrives on silence. Billie Holiday and Abel Maripol set a lasting example for how we can speak up and fight for a better future.